So I look at the any course as a system in the sense that it is a curriculum and that it's got the elements associated with it. So a course has a system in terms of the content, but it's also a system in terms of the connectivity of how the content is delivered. For example, you have the PowerPoints, you may have some reading materials, you may have some recording and so on. So what I do or what I plan to do, in order to get the students to get engaged in the class, is to look at it from the bookends point of view. So if it is a 6-week talk class, or it could be a 15-week, a trad class. So there are bookends, the week one, and obviously when you get done. Now, especially in the case of a accelerated class, be an MBA level 8 weeks or a talk at a 6-week level, the starting point is week one, and that's where I would have a video where I can explain to them what is the overall system, i.e., what is the curriculum, what is expected in the class, what you're going to learn, your learning outcome, etc. So that's a macro systems conversation about the curriculum. So that sets the stage of what is expected and so on. Now, from week to week, they are subsystem of a curriculum. Each week has got a content, but in some way they're connected to the curriculum, and hence I want to make sure that every week they can see that connectivity. So the engagement will be, again, a quick video at the beginning of the week introducing the content, the learning outcomes, and especially the importance of why they're important for the student in the real world. I teach business, I teach economics, I teach finance. By themselves, they may seem like, who cares, right? But if I can help them make connection with what is happening in the real world, I think they can start to see the value. So if I see something in the real world, or something that may pop up, for example, let's say I'm teaching economics, right? And Federal Reserve comes up with the new interest rates announcement, I can take advantage of that and at least either provide a link to that announcement or even just talk about it in short video. So each week, short video up front kind of set the stage for them. And as a bookend, depending upon how the week goes, I would basically either wrap it up with an announcement or a short video if I think there is a value to have the bookend video. So every week will definitely have a video to start out with, and the bookend piece will depend upon the content and where I see the need for it. Now, as far as the discussion is concerned, that can get a little tricky, as we all know, as we've been teaching, many of us, online for a long time. And even when I was doing a doctorate, I found that online discussion could be value added or no value added. So on the online discussion, I don't plan to be over interactive. My experience as a faculty and also as experience as a student is that if I over interact in the discussion every day, it might stifle the students. So in order to avoid that, I'm just going to keep an eye on it. And in the end, during the week, I want to find the bright spots. I want to be able to summarize it, in some summary fashion, so they can see what the bright spots are in the class discussion. Or if I do see during the week something that completely off path, and then I would take the intervention. But that would be more an exception versus the rule in the way I like to teach. So in the end, a good announcement summarizing everything, summarizing what happened, to what we learned, what we quote unquote did not learn, and then set the stage for the next week. So that becomes a starting bookend for the next week, and then I'll continue to do that. Now, as far as the grading is concerned, yeah, obviously that is a lot of work for us as a faculty. And, depending on the content, depending on the subject, one can streamline it, but that will depend on the subject to subject. But what I think will help, and truthfully, this is my first experience, when I'm going to teach the economics class in a talk format, is use of the knowledge path. I know a little bit about it, and based on what I know, I think it is another piece of a system where we can make that connection between the KP piece of it, along with the PowerPoint, the reading assignments, the discussion thread, and so on. So obviously the real opportunity for us as faculty is to be able to make those connections. So that I can make the connection depending upon if the student's having an issue, or if I see it at a macro level, a pattern, then at least I can say, okay, maybe based on what I saw, I need to create a quick video to be able to address that issue. Now, I like to use the screencast as a video. I've been using it for the last many years. I'm very comfortable with it. So I plan to use that and obviously then record it and then post it in a YouTube format. So I look forward to teaching in the talk format. This will be the first time for me, and I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot from many of my peers. So so we'll see how it goes.